Hi everyone, welcome back to Pedalboards today, and today we are going to do a bit of a special one. But first, if you haven't subscribed and liked and that sort of thing, then please go ahead and do it. It really helps us out. Now, we are looking at these two fantastic pedals. We've got the SDE-3000 EVH and the TC 2290p. Why are we looking at these? Well, they both came out around the same time and they are both bloody good pedals. But which one's the best? Let's give you a bit of backstory. Both of these pedals started life in the series as rack-mounted units in the 80s. They were used by people like Eddie Van Halen, especially the SDE-3000, and the Edge, especially the 2290. Also, David Gilmour probably used both of them, but they are all over tracks you would have heard loads. I thought to myself, why not do a shootout? So we're going to look at it and see which one really does come out on top. Okay, these points are in no particular order, they're just the order in which I got my research. There are going to be some things that they are very equal on, such as they both have USB-C, which is great, especially for TC. They've moved up to USB-C now because they were using the really old USB for ages, and I'm really glad that they have. Both these pedals have presets. From what I understand, the TC has 64 slots that you can save on, and the Boss has 92, so that's a point to Boss. However, I am well willing to revoke that if I find out later on that this does actually have 128. The Boss has a very clever noise suppression system, and that's really useful because delays can get quite noisy, and this squashes that perfectly. It's very, very good. So that's another point to the Boss. Now, both of these pedals have phase switching, which is a very useful tool. So if your delays start getting washed out because they're stereo delays and where they're repeating against each other, they start to cancel each other out. You can invert them on this, and you've got two different types of phase cancelling on the SDE-3000. You've got delay phase and feedback phase. And the same is true on the 2290. You've got an invert on the time and an invert on the feedback, which will do the same idea. Very, very cool. And if you're wondering why I'm holding this, that's because this pedal comes with a cover, and that's bloody cool. And I'm going to give it an extra point for that. So far, that's 2 to the Boss and 1 to the TC. Can it do any better? So built-in presets, they can be crap on a lot of pedals. These two pedals buck that trend in a big way. The SDE-3000 has 8 different presets designed on Eddie Van Halen's tones alone. The TC has 20 presets that were in the original 2290, and then a bunch more as well. And I can tell you the presets in this are blinding. So that's equal. No extra points to anyone. Both pedals are MIDI capable. Brilliant. There was an extra point to be had for MIDI because Boss used the 3.5mm jacks, the headphone jacks, for MIDI. However, Roland Boss, if you're listening, don't put them on the sides. All the jacks are on the top. They're only tiny. Stick them on the top. Stop putting them on the sides, please. And for that reason, they do not get the extra point that I was going to give. The TC 2290 uses 5-pin MIDI DIN, so takes up quite a lot of room, but it's all on the back. The TC electronic pedal has a feature called Learn. Effectively, if you make it learn, it will listen to what you're playing and pick up on the tempo of what you're playing and change the tempo to the tempo of what you're playing, which is a fantastic feature. I really like that. The SDE-3000 does not. So that is a point to TC. Versatility. At the heart of it, without going into too much detail, the SDE-3000 is a fantastic delay pedal, and it just does delay. It does delay in some other ways, which we'll come to in a second, but it just does delay. The 2290 can become a modulation pedal, And I'm sure you probably could do that with some tinkering on the SDE-3000. I know I have done that on the DD-500 from Boss, but this does it very, very easily. In fact, some of the settings are modulations. That point is going to go to the 2290. Routing. Both these pedals can do mono. Both these pedals can do stereo. But only one of these pedals can do a wet, dry, wet. And that is the SDE-3000. It's one of the only pedals on the market that can split your signal into 3 outputs, so you can have a wet and a dry, giving you ultimate immersion in your sound with clarity punching through. Unfortunately, the TC2290 cannot do this, so that is a point to Boss. Overall appearance. I love the aesthetic of both of these pedals. I cannot give them a point either way. The sleek design of the 2290 with this beautiful cover, and I mean, it just looks unreal. It looks unreal with the cover on. When you take the cover off, it's even better. Just looks fantastic. And these little magnets in here just put it together. Oh, it's so slick. And then the SDE-3000 has the Eddie Van Halen stripes over it, but in grey. Oh, it looks so good. The blue LEDs on it as well. The other version of this, the non-EVH version, I believe has red LEDs. They're both so good. They're both so beautiful, beautiful pedals. It's like choosing between your children. I cannot say which one looks better. However, size. The SDE-3000 is about the size of a mini pedal smaller than the TC. So it gets it. I will add the TC is shallower, but that doesn't really matter. We're looking at footprints, and the SDE-3000 gets the point there. Price. The 2290, where I live, is almost half the cost of the SDE-3000 EVH. The non-EVH model is a little bit cheaper, but that is a clear point to the 2290. The interface. There's no getting around this. The TC2290 has the better interface by a long shot. I am often menu diving to find what I want to do on the SDE-3000. I think I've had to look at the manual once for the TC. So that's a point to TC. And then finally, it comes down to the sound. Which has the best sound? I personally think that the SDE-3000 sounds better. But I'm not going to give it the point for that because it is totally subjective. And I feel that both of these pedals sound accurate to the gear that they were supposed to sound like, as far as my knowledge stretches. And therefore, they are doing exactly what they need to do. And that 2290 sounds fantastic. It's perfect for the right things. So we have a winner by not a very big margin. TC 2290p comes out on top. However, I want to know, which one is your winner? Which one would you go for? Would you go for the arguably higher quality SDE-3000? Would you still go for the 2290? And why? Is it because it's cheaper, or does it do the tones that you feel like you want? Is it the versatility? This is my tone all day long, but I still love this. And if you choose to buy either of these, there will be links in the description where you can use our affiliate link to help us earn a little bit of extra money. And we really appreciate it if you do. It doesn't cost you a penny extra. Please, if this has been helpful to you, click like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.